Stop right there. Yeah, you. If you like all things entertainment, current events, or Hollywood, then look no further. Creator to Creators, hosted by director Meosha Bean of Horror Noir, interviews filmmakers and creatives from around the world. Join in on the fun, guest celebrities, and informative information to have as a creator. Hit subscribe and stay connected to Creator to Creators.
Hi, guys. Welcome to another episode of Creators to Creators today. Today, we have a special guest.
Hello, I am Aurora Takeover. Nice to meet everyone. Nice
Awesome,
to meet you,
awesome.
Coach.
Nice to meet you as well. Thank you so much for doing this. I love talking to people and just finding, just hearing the story and the journey. But I love going back to the beginning, right? Like the beginning, I always say that it kind of charts our trajectory and where we're going in life, like our little habits, the things that we pick up when we're younger, and it kind of somehow sticks with us when we're older. So tell me a little bit about your childhood and, what was that like? And kind of how did you kind of find your way into the music world?
All right. So when I was growing up, I was kind of moving from place to place. My parents actually divorced when I was very young, and then quickly, my mom, I wouldn't say quickly, but then she started dating someone that she's now married to, and now I live up in just north of Boston, and I was still always connected with my dad, and he was a musician,
Nice.
and he was in a band called the Beloved Few, and I would see him a lot, and I loved listening to the music that he listened to. He listened to a lot of Elton John and Billy Joel stuff, so that was like kind of my first taste of music, and knowing he was like, I always thought he was like such a rock star growing up because he had all these people that like really liked him, and everyone kind of like put him on like a pedestal. And I thought that was really cool. you know, um, I was like, wow, my dad's a rock star. So I was always trying to like I was always trying to sing for him and everything and learn some of the songs. Just whenever we'd be driving somewhere, I'd just be singing like whatever's on the radio.
I love
And
that.
then, yeah, and people were saying that I was good at it. I was a good singer when I was growing up. So um, I don't know how true that is at the time. I have no idea. But but yeah, it kind of just made me go, oh, like let me keep doing this. I like this. And then I started to kind of come up with my own songs. I was starting to write ballads maybe when I was 12.
Wow.
Yeah, just on the piano and everything, kind of self-taught through YouTube and everything. And then from there, I just kept writing songs. I keep them on my YouTube channel.
That's
Like I have
great.
like all these really old videos, and some of them aren't even like singing. Some of them are just like stupid videos that I made, but I keep them up because I think it's important to see where I was in the past, and
Yes.
even
Yes.
no matter how embarrassing they are, it's just good to see. I like to every now and then I'll find myself just going back and looking like where I was compared to where I am now. I like to kind of do that comparison. Um, but yeah, that was kind of how it was growing up, at least in the music taste.
Yeah,
Um, Yeah, and it was a lot. I don't know. I loved writing, and I still love writing. So
that's great.
here
That's
we
great.
are.
Here we are.
Yeah.
Do you feel like growing up, was it, at least for me, my brother was in TV film production and he
Oh,
brought
okay.
home this camera, this massive camera. And I'm like all of like 7 or 8 years old. I was super young and I saw this thing and I was like, what is this thing? And it
Yeah.
fascinated me.
Mm.
I think it was that was when it was like the love of like, ooh, the curiosity of like, oh, film. What is
Yeah.
that camera? And I just kind of kept that going throughout my life. And so I'm curious with you when it comes to music, was it, yes, your dad obviously, was a big influence for you. But
Yes.
was there like a movie or was there like a song or a soundtrack that you were just like I want to do music?
No, actually.
Okay. Okay.
No, I would say it was more of like my hobby growing up. I
Got
had
it.
I had a good bit of hobbies. I mean, I was like I was very athletic and everything. So I was doing a lot of soccer growing up.
Hmm.
But on my free time, besides that in school, I was just sitting in my room on a piano writing music.
That's
And
amazing.
this was like, before I had like an iPhone and everything, and like knew I could videotape myself. I was just doing it for fun. That was my hobby. I
Yeah.
remember in sixth grade, like I was talking to someone, and everyone, I could see like a group of people that I was friends with in school. They were all talking, and they were like, "Oh, are you going to this later tonight? Like, are you going to hang out with us? Is your mom able to pick you up and drop you off here, and we're all gonna hang out?" And I was like, "Wait, people do that?" I was so I was like, I had no idea. Like, the only thing I knew is like if I got bored, I would hang out with people around my neighborhood, but that wasn't like anything crazy. Like, I never even knew that people were really hanging out. I know that's so weird to say, but I just thought everyone went home, did their homework, and then, either watched TV or did exactly what I was doing. I had
Right.
no clue that like people were connecting like outside of school.
Yeah.
So I would just say that it was just something that I just loved doing, and that was my hobby. And yeah, I had no idea what other people were doing. I was just kind of focused on me, I guess.
Well, I love that. So I'm very curious now, your name, your stage name, where did that come from? Because I find that very interesting. I honestly, I've never heard of that ever in my life. I'm like, wow, that's different.
Yeah, I couldn't tell you what it means. Um, like at all. Um,
Love it.
from what I know, I made it in 2015. I do know
Okay.
that. I have a friend that I would see every now and then. It was like my mom and his mom were like best friends when we were born. We were born like 8 days apart,
Aw.
and he loved music as well. So we're like, oh, we create a band, like let's do a band, and we're kind of like funny about it. And so I just came up with this name, Aurora Takeover, and I have no idea what it means. But the biggest reasoning for me
Okay.
was I didn't want people in school to know that this is what I was doing. After I found out that like
Ah,
people were hanging out together and there were groups of people that, hung out, I was like, well, I don't want people to know that I'm doing this because apparently this is not normal. So
yeah,
I
yeah.
wanted to have like an alias name. So it was just Aurora Takeover. I'm like, who's going to look that up? They're not going to find me. They're going to find. So,
It's good. I
yeah,
love it.
no idea what it means, but again, it almost is like what I said with posting stuff on YouTube when I was
Yeah.
younger. Like I keep it up because I like to see my growth. It's almost kind of like that.
Mm,
I've had this name for so long. I'm just gonna keep it. I know it's like a long name, but I do not care. I like grown to really like it. So
yeah, it's really, really good. It's really good. I'm honestly, I've never heard of it, and I think that's
yeah,
very good. And especially this
thank you.
industry that we're in, music, you have to
Hmm.
stand out somehow, because it's super saturated. There's so many
Correct.
people doing music.
Oh, nowadays with technology, I mean, you don't need much. Right now, I'm sitting in my studio. I have a computer. I
Nice.
have a microphone.
Nice.
That's it. That's it. That's my studio.
I love
Like
that.
people can do this. Yeah, I know. People can, if they really want to make music, if they do the right research, they can.
It's
That's
so,
at like people's disposal. Dis I don't know the word for that, but it's people can do it if they want to a lot easier than it was, a couple decades ago.
oh yeah, and I feel like that's amazing. Like you said, it's if you want to do it, right? And
Yeah,
I feel like that's the beautiful thing about, I guess, technology and being in the AI world now. It's like you
yeah,
can create anything
yeah.
and be anywhere. It's pretty gnarly. And
True.
but does that help? I mean, as far as like, do you feel like as an artist, um, like the fact that yes, we have technology and everything's so much easier, it is also kind of harder to get your work out there. Like I feel like that's the kind of the tough thing because you're going
Yeah.
against like Taylor Swift's on the charts as well.
Oh,
You're
I
like,
know.
holy crap.
I know. So with that being said, like now because of how saturated it is, you have to not think about that stuff.
Got it.
There are so many niches.
Yeah.
Like there are so many like I don't even know like like, oh, people ask me what genre am I, and I had no idea. It was my audio engineer that said that I'm hyperpop now.
Nice.
Like my newest album's considered like a hyperpop album, and I was like, what the hell is hyperpop? I have no idea. Apparently, hyperpop is like pop music on ADHD.
Hmm.
Apparently, so yeah, I know it makes a little more sense when I think of it like that. But yeah, you just can't think like that when like, oh, look at all the people I'm like competing against.
Yeah.
Can't look at it like that because there are so many people out there that are tuning in. Technology's like at everyone's fingertips basically now. Someone's gonna like your stuff, and if you market
Um,
it correctly, there's gonna be a good bit of people that like it.
Absolutely. And that's what, and this my next question, that I have for you is like tell me a little bit about the process of, you know, making your concept album and also
Mm.
the song, um which obviously I really really love it. See You Die, which is
Mhm.
like very interesting. And it sounds really, really good. I played it on the speaker and I was like, wow, it sounds really nice.
Thank
Um,
you, thank you.
Tell me about the process of making that, like what that was like and like kind of what inspired you to do it.
Yeah. So for this album specifically, it's
Mm.
so again, it's a concept album. So everything is like a storyline throughout each song. Um, so I took like a year off of making music because then I was working a lot. I picked up like a second job, so I didn't have like a ton of free time on my hands. But I wasn't like mentally
Yeah.
like satisfied. So I was going out a lot. I was going into like a lot of dive bars and everything. And what I would see there is, a lot of people in a lot of different states of minds, and I'm very empathetic towards other people's emotions.
Mm.
So I feel like I can really tap into people's emotions through what I know of those kind of emotions.
Right.
So then I would like then even going out would actually freak me out even more. Like I would use it as like a de-stressor, but it would actually freak me out a little more because I was seeing all these people in like bad states of mind.
Mm.
And so I kind of took that into perspective, and um, I decided to quit one of my jobs so I can focus on making music again. And this time I wanted to take it a lot more serious than I ever have. More so not like a job and not like a hobby.
Right.
So the album is so there's a part one to it. I should mention that. There's like an EP that leads into this album,
Right.
and that EP is starts with someone that is um like a drug addict, and they are very dependent on other people. So then it's just this weird story I kind of just threw together, but it like makes sense now, but it was all over the place when I was writing it. But the concept is he's a drug addict, he's very dependent on people. He meets a girl, I call her Miss Enabler, who enables him to continue his bad behavior. And then she leaves, then he has to get better, and then he's starting to get a lot better towards the end of that EP, and
Mm.
then comes in to this album. He starts with relapsing and hates that he relapsed and said that he will never go back. And then like uh what's it called? Like now like some superstitious stuff happens. Now everything like good starts happening for him. He's like
Mm.
given like, he's now like really happy
Yeah.
because he's not taking, he's not dependent on substances, and he's finding love. But then the cool thing about it is that like yes, all this stuff is given to him, but it comes at a cost. It's not easy.
Right.
So then it's the rest of the album is just a story of like all the pieces of adversity that he has now with this new life that he has to live. Now he feels like he's kind of being an enabler to other people. So
Ah,
that's fun. Yeah, so that's basically the album in a nutshell.
I love that. I love that. Which,
Yeah.
and I'm curious, what was one of like, I guess your favorite, uh, s- or songs, and
Hmm.
what was the most difficult to write?
Most difficult to write. I'll start with that one. Most difficult to write was the song Misery, which is the
Okay.
first one. So yeah, it's the name of the album. It's the first song on the album. It's 4 minutes and 46 seconds long. It has a beat change. It changes its tempo and the vibe changes like throughout it. And that is just an inner battle with oneself of
Mm.
not trying to go back to your personal demons. And
Mm.
it's kind of like a haunting. The song has like a very haunting feel to it. And I feel like a lot of people that are struggling with whatever it is, whether it's drugs, relationships, anything that's kind of like what I call like a demon in someone's life, they'll be able to relate to that song. And it was hard because uh, you're sitting there listening to that song over and over and over again, and it's personally not like the greatest message of a song. It's more
Hmm.
so of like a realization, like, hey, are you here too?
Yeah,
So it's
got
just kind of like, so that one kind of just takes like a mental toll on you to write.
mm.
And then I would say my favorite song. That's a tough one because I really love like
Like
all
all of
of
them.
them. Yeah, I love all of them.
Yeah.
They're also like different from each other, which is like why I'm always like, oh, I wish like people listen to like all my songs so they like could know like instead of like people just being like, oh, I love this one song.
Right.
But that, obviously I can't control that, but I think that's everyone's dream though as an artist. It's like, oh, I know every song you put out and I understand everything you say.
Right,
doesn't
right.
doesn't really work like that, but my favorite song I think is Bleeding
Okay.
because that song is about anxiety, and I'm very new to anxiety. I've never had anxiety. I
Mm.
kind of looked at people that had anxiety like, what are you doing? Like, why are you freaking out? And now I have it. Now I'm like,
Mm.
I understand you. I get it. You know
Okay.
what? I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Um, but I was supposed to go on a date with a girl that day, and she like ghosted me, and I
No.
was kind of distraught. I was kind of upset about it. So that song was never supposed to be written at all. I wrote it in like an hour and recorded it in the next three, and it was
Wow.
done.
Wow.
And I like it a lot because I was having anxiety, and now every time I like think about anxiety, I'm like, I just listen to that song. I just think it's like a well put way of what anxiety is. And
Yeah.
for people that don't know the feeling of anxiety, I feel like they could listen to that song and have kind of like an idea of what it is.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's I think that's actually very cool to shed a light on that.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
you know, and not shy away from it. And I think that's being very vulnerable and honest. So, hey, kudos
Mm,
to you.
thank you, thank you.
Definitely. So I have a really fun question.
Yeah,
If you could be managed by any artist, living or dead, who would it be and why?
managed, managed by,
Yeah.
hmm, managed by Juice World. I would say I love Juice
Wow.
World. I didn't like rap until I heard Juice World's Lucid Dreams. I was not. I was like into like post hardcore music, like Sleeping with Sirens, Pierce the Veil,
Yeah.
My Chemical Romance. I was
I
into like
love. Mm,
emo music. And he was that except the rap version, and
yeah.
then I just got so drawn to it. Yeah. I feel like he was so talented and he was so wise with everything.
Mm,
Um, that I feel like he would point me in the right directions.
yeah. Yeah.
You know.
Do you feel like the music industry is better now and
Mm,
also in favor of the artist getting their um I don't know, their like royalties and things like that because
yeah.
you gotta make money somehow.
Yeah.
Um, do you feel like it's better than it used to be? Or is it or changing for the better?
It the music industry as a whole is a huge roller coaster because it's always evolving. You know, when we went from like, you know, like Napster came out, that was a nightmare and stuff. And like 360 deals, those are still going on, but they
Yeah.
used to not be a thing. Um, I would say that it's better for the artist to get noticed. That doesn't necessarily mean that you can make a living off of it.
Got it.
But it's definitely a lot easier to like get your stuff out with like TikTok and Instagram. So I think it's so I guess yes, I think it is a little bit better because now if you really want something, you can really go for it, and by just creating content and putting your stuff out there on little videos and just hoping that they go viral. I haven't figured that part out yet. And also I can't speak like really like I've never been signed or anything,
Hmm.
so I don't know like like too much about how the deals are nowadays. That's just something I haven't researched in a while, but um overall I feel like it's a lot better and it's giving more people the opportunity to be what they've always dreamed of as a kid.
Yeah. No, absolutely. I
Mm.
think that's the same thing for in the film world too. I think it's music and film is
Yeah,
kind of go in entertainment all together, right? It's
yeah.
hand in hand. Um, you know, I think there's a lot of work to be done.
Hmm.
Um, but I feel like we are making some type of strides in the right direction.
Yeah,
Seems like
yeah.
it for sure.
I
Um,
don't know anything about the film industry, but I will tell you, if I were to like be like a big artist, I would absolutely 100% want to be in a film. I feel like I'd be a really good actor.
Definitely.
I don't know.
You have a great
I
look too.
used to Thank you, thank you. Yeah, I used to make like war movies when I was younger on like an iPhone 4 and like
Very cool.
cut them up in iMovie and put the gun effects and everything.
Nice.
I used to love doing that. So, um, yeah, that wouldn't be something I wouldn't mind circling back to.
Nice. Or even writing, because you said, you know, you write, so you could even write for film or whatever. You never
Bro,
know.
maybe, maybe. I'm not the best, like, maybe I would be good at that. Yeah, you know what? I'd give that thought. I'd give that some thought. That would
Yeah,
be pretty cool.
that would be cool. What keeps you motivated to keep going, and even during like the hard times and or the uncertain times in the journey?
Hmm. Well, actually, for a while, I would only write when I'm sad. That's like why most of my music is sad. Like, if you go back in my discography, a lot of my songs are sad.
Hmm.
Um, and it was always just that was my like coping mechanism was writing, and it helped so much. It was such a de-stressor. Um, so with that being said, like now I make like more fun, happy songs. Or at least that's like what's coming. Right?
Yeah.
I'll just say that. Um, but but even when like say I'm happy, I'll write a happy song. If I'm sad, I'll write a sad song.
Hmm.
So no matter where I'm at, I'll just piggyback off of whatever emotion I am feeling. It
Yeah.
won't be like verbatim, like, all right, like let's say like I'm poor or something, like I have no
Mhm.
money in my bank. I'm not gonna write a song that like is like, oh, I'm financially unstable. Like it
Right.
won't be like that. It could be like a love song, like of a heartbreak. You know,
Yeah.
it's like something that touches on that same line.
Mm.
So
I like that.
yeah, so no matter where I'll be, I'll always write, but it just will dictate what kind of song it would be.
I like that. That's good. Very
Mm.
cool. I love asking this question, and there's no wrong answer
Oh God.
whatsoever.
All right.
Um, the three levels of influence: money, power, or respect. And if you could choose one of those things, only one, which one would you choose and why?
Oh, money, power, or respect? Power as in, okay, wow. You know, for a long while, I would have said money. Um, but I feel like it's respect. So I definitely, you know what? Yeah, absolutely respect. For men in general, the one biggest thing that Like they'll be totally great with anything as long as they're given respect. The
Um,
moment things go south is when they feel like they're not being respected. And I fall right under that as well. So I would absolutely say respect. If I didn't have respect, the money wouldn't matter because it would go away because I wouldn't, I would not have as much motivation or whatever. Or I'll
mhm.
just write a bunch of sad songs and I'll lose half my audience. So so respect.
Respect. Yeah, no,
Yep.
that's a great answer. It's a really good answer. Respect is I feel like that is the common answer that I usually get. I think
Yeah.
yeah, because I think
I'm
people don't want to say
trying to be
money be
outside of the box,
no, I agree. No, I like it's a great answer. I think money, I think when you hear the concept of money, it kind of, it's like, oh, that means it's terrible. And I'm like, actually, I mean, you kind of need money to do the
Yeah.
things,
But
in this business, but I know what you mean exactly. And I
yeah.
like your answer though. It's a great answer.
Yes, you're always going to need money, but once it starts hitting over a certain threshold, that is just a huge want. Like
Yeah.
it feels like a need. It can almost blend into it, but it's not.
Yeah.
So, of course, you need some money, but how I took that question is like, would you be rich? Would you want to be rich?
Right.
I'd rather be respected than rich.
I like that. Yeah, because I feel like at the end of the day, no matter how much you accumulate, you know, here's what really matters. You're the soul part of you because, like you said, you can't take you can't take money or things with you, because you only
Yeah.
live, you only get one go around.
Yeah. Yep. Exactly. Yep.
Um, I was gonna ask you,
Yep.
you know, I think, and I'm curious of like artists, like how, so you do also make your beats as well. You're that involved with the
No,
oh no.
no. I used
Ah,
to. I
got
used
it.
to. I only have 2 songs out that I did. Well, if you go far enough back in my
Okay.
YouTube channel, you'll find garage band beats that I made.
Got
But
it.
when I did start using Fruity Loop Studios, that's what I use as my software. I
Nice.
was making my own beats. The 2 songs, just to name them real quick, were Walls and On the Road. I made those beats, but um, that job is really hard. Being an audio engineer is extremely difficult,
I
or a
bet.
producer, so to speak. That is tough stuff. So I just couldn't. It took so long for me to write one song because I had to mix and master everything.
Wow.
Um, and I just wasn't like that. I wasn't the best at it. It didn't sound, super clean and everything. So I just started, looking up producers and I started using that. So I use producers
And that's good. I
now.
feel like, yeah, no, I think that's great because it gives you a different like sound and
Hmm.
because everyone's different, and I feel like that is,
Yeah.
like I loved, I think it was, whose album was it? I think I was listening to I think it was either Taylor or Beyonce's album, and they were
Hmm.
it were so many producers that she listed. I was like, holy crap. But like
Oh
this,
yeah.
it sounds like, it's like, whoa, you have this
Yeah.
different
I,
sound and things. Yeah.
I think I have 3 producers on out of the 8 songs. I think I only use 3
Nice.
producers.
Nice.
Um, but a big turning point with this album is I used to audio engineer myself, so I'd get the beat, I would chop it up, I'd record my voice, and
Yeah.
then I would mix my voice into it
Mm.
myself. But with this album, I actually got an audio engineer, and he lives in Vancouver,
Oh, cool.
Canada. I live in Massachusetts, and I've never met him, but me and him are like this, like
I love
it
that.
blows my mind, that goes back to the technology thing, but he enhanced my sound so much, and that was really when I knew, like, all right, I have a good solid product. Let's not F this up now,
Yeah. Very
'Cause-
good. Very good work.
yeah. Thank you. Yeah, it just blew me away. I didn't know that, someone could be as talented at audio engineering as he is.
I love that. And it, kudos to you, and honestly, congratulations. Really good stuff. I'm really great music. I'm love it, love it. So congrats to you and everything that you got going
Thank you
on,
so
and to
much.
the future projects for sure. Um,
Yeah, can't wait for those either.
so I have all, I one thing that I usually get like from like emails or people that listen to the show, they love this question and it
Okay.
really helps them. And so I love asking this question because every time I get a different answer. But for those who want to try to get into this industry, what advice would you give them?
Start anywhere. Anywhere. You don't need everything. You could literally start with GarageBand. It doesn't need to be perfect. Just put stuff on SoundCloud first. It doesn't matter where you start. Once you get the ball rolling, you kind of have you kind of get into a rhythm, and then the next thing you'll know, you'll be like 2 years down the road, and you'll be like, oh wow, like look at the stuff I used to be creating. Like what the heck, like this stuff's terrible, but like then you look at where you are now and you're like, wow, like I'm making like like I can see this is progressing, this is progressing, and it's just you just got to start somewhere,
Yeah,
anywhere, you know.
love that. That's beautiful. That's great advice. Where can people find you on social media to follow all the things you have going on? And do you
Yeah.
have anything coming up that you'd like to share?
Yes. So, you can follow me at the place that I'm mostly active is on Instagram. It is at Aurora Takeover, which is my name, and then Twitter is the same thing. It's at Aurora Takeover, and I post my music videos on my YouTube channel, which is Aurora Takeover, and through my distributor on YouTube, you can listen to my whole discography at Aurora Takeover dash topic. And yes, I am working on my next concept album. It is going to be called Egocentric. And
Ooh,
so a lot of my writing, I write about like what's going on in people's brains and everything, and what their emotions are, what they're feeling and everything. So the next one I am tapping into is your ego, your self-image, and it's going to be a story on how you can have a really healthy ego, too high of an ego, and how it can affect everyone, and what it's like when it can crash and everything. It's going to be a roller coaster of a story of your own personal self-image.
I love that. And that's a huge thing. That's a huge topic for sure that
Yeah, yeah,
I think a lot of people deal with for
yeah,
sure.
absolutely,
Yeah.
absolutely.
Love that. Well, congratulations. And
Thank you.
wow, it's crazy that 30 minutes are it's literally over. You have to
That was
definitely
30
come back.
minutes.
Yeah, I
Wow,
know. Isn't it insane?
what the heck?
It goes by like
Yeah, that
um
was quick.
it really was.
Really
Um,
was.
um, so yeah, you have to definitely come back in the future. You're welcome anytime, anytime. It was great
Oh,
talking
well,
to
thank you.
you.
Yeah, this was great. It was great meeting you and everything.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah.
And yeah, thank you all for listening. And always remember to live, love, laugh. We'll see you guys next time.